back with more Sex Education. This is episode 2 of season 1. Been a little while since I did the pilot. I think that was in July or something, but it has won the poll to take over since I finished Dollhouse, so we are officially carrying on and finishing off the show, and I'm really excited because I really enjoyed the pilot a lot. Lots of interesting kind of stuff going on, and I like the idea of Otis and Maeve starting this like sex ed business. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen. I have been like chomping at the bit to get back to the show, but yeah, should be good. Very excited because, like I said in the first reaction, I have been meaning to get to the show for quite some time because I've just heard such great stuff about it. And yeah, I'm excited for more. We'll have to see where they go with things now, but we got a good kind of glimpse at a lot of the characters I think we're going to be following throughout the show. Really interesting premise, so I'm excited, and yeah, let's just get into the next one.
Right, I'm getting the light.
Oh, well.
What the fuck? You dirty bastard.
Dirty bastard. Oh my god. Oh, you're listening to take notes.
Apparently last time Warhammer Tom drank 14 Jaeger bombs and nearly drowned in a hot tub. We need a revive.
Sounds like something I'd do.
I'm about to teach a vagina workshop. So, no?
Well, how about tonight then?
But I really commend you on your directness and your bravado, and I really hope that you find what you're looking for. Goodbye now.
Well, different kind of vagina workshop I think he's looking for.
Are you really saying you don't want to hang out with Maeve Wiley?
That's a fair point.
I think I want to hang out with her. Yes.
You should.
Maybe.
She's great.
How fabulous. Don't be late.
Okay, we need to go.
Oh dear.
Now. Hello, I'm your therapist. Say.
God.
How might I serve you? At the zoo, I once saw a chinchilla flayed itself. Hello?
We've only had one of the client.
Jesus.
We need to go somewhere teenagers have a lot of sex.
The bushes behind Science Block A.
Amy's house party.
Ah.
Is this the Maeve effect, pet child?
That's a lot of orange.
Hey, crowds.
And look after one another. Let me get you some condoms.
So, thanks, Mum. Bye.
Wow, I was going to say, wow, she's really cool about him going to this party, but she's really cool about it. Oh.
Let's hope you're not pregnant.
Uh-oh.
How old are you, sweetheart? 12. Wish I knew who the father was. 528.
Bet you they have loads of
Shaq's very casual about it, probably to hide her fear, I'm guessing. He's dressed like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Hey, Maeve. You look fierce.
You look like a what's it?
Oh. I mean, I don't think I can predict what she's going to do yet, so we'll see. You're going to snoop. She brings that to the party for him, can you imagine?
STIs? Okay. Bye then.
Good try.
Is it true your whole family's in prison?
Wow.
Yeah. What is your thing then?
Complex female characters. You hooking up with anyone here?
Idiot. Moron. Stupid. Man.
Someone's behind the curtain.
I broke him. Like a stick.
Oh, is this the girl from the start?
I have sex with the lights on. And I'm like, whoa, I don't want you to see me naked.
Who's this guy?
Oh, it's not.
Your therapist, I think.
He's non-threatening.
Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Oh, she is. Oh! Oh!
Adam? If she doesn't want you at her party, it's important that you respect her wishes.
You're so wise.
I was taking on notice.
Well, I thought my parents were controlling.
Oh. She needs to respect Otis's wishes as well, I suppose. He's gonna kill the roses.
Ruby and Olivia said they couldn't do it at their houses.
Oh god. Oh, you got a closure of a door.
Idiot.
Oh. Negative then? Maybe positive after this?
I heard about your problem. Show your skills. Great. Great. No, I need props.
Oh, this is gonna be funny.
Oh no.
Oh, he's a total base.
I'll leave then, arseholes.
Tell me about Kate.
I like that when he's just Otis, he's really good at this. Like when he took the cap off, now he's like quite good at it.
Kate, what do you like about yourself?
Nothing.
Kate, I want you
Mood.
to name 5 things.
I have this really spooky ability at guessing which nationality someone is just by the way they walk.
She does. It is awesome. Go on,
Ah, this is wholesome.
I think I have nice hair.
It's so shiny. I think we're making real progress.
Might be time to go.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Otis?
Hi, Maeve.
oh my god, buddy, just give up. Oh my god.
Okay. Hey.
I feel like that's not gonna go well for him.
I think this is a bust. Gotta get my shit and I'm going.
See ya.
She's still there.
You forgot your inhaler?
I haven't had an attack in 6 years.
Well, what if you did? I mean, would any of these
Oh,
people
man.
help you? And
Isn't that courgette lady? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he gets picked on for that as well. She has good intentions. Well. Oh no! Oh no, no, no! What a mess. Oh, those ashes! Wow, that granny witnessed far too much tonight.
Is that we're different, but we're both the same. And we're just 2 losers that nobody wants. And they don't want us because...
Poignant.
it was a stupid idea. Sorry for wasting your time. See you around, Otis.
Oh.
Dude, where's my hat? I might have lost it. You're bad at being hat man. Sorry. No, you're...
I mean, was it that much of a tragic loss? Oh no.
To sleep or not to sleep.
She all on her own?
Stay out of my life.
Oh boy. I guess she does let her job bleed into her personal life a lot. Uh-oh. You guys suck. I mean... so does he, apparently. You know.
Why can't you be more like your sister? Diligent, reliable, resilient.
Oh. Oh my god. Aww.
I'm really weak
Oh.
I'm addicted to one thing. I'm kind of doing it right now. No. Is it weird that I always think about the Queen when I come?
Yes.
I'll be in charge of bookings, schedules, payments, that kind of thing.
Yes. Great. What should I do?
We could, try...
Well...
Can you make a flyer?
I've got lots of things to be getting on with anyway. I'm super busy. Super busy, Maeve.
Oh man. Ah. Clever. Okay, I've really enjoyed that episode again. I'm definitely really enjoying where they're kind of taking the story and the characters and stuff. There's some really potentially interesting stuff at play, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they're gonna explore these further. But I think in terms of like themes of the episode, responsibility and respect, I think were like the big ones that jumped out at me. At the start we had Jean kind of telling Otis about the responsibility of being a therapist to people and to make it about them and not yourself, and alongside that her responsibility as a mother almost contradicts that in a way, because she didn't respect the boundaries that clearly Otis would have had about her not wanting, you know, her going to the party, to give him the inhaler that he hasn't needed for 6 years, and all the stuff like that. They've done a really clever job of having all these characters have their separate stories, but there are some kind of key things kind of linking them, and you almost don't expect it. So we had Adam and Jean's kind of stories slightly intertwined when they met at the gate, and Adam, well, you know, at first Jean gave Adam some advice about how to deal with the situation and respect Amy's boundaries and stuff like that, and, you know, respect her in that sense, give her that space. But at the same time, she wasn't doing that for Otis, and Adam kind of pointed that out, and that was really interesting and a really cool moment. And then alongside that, I can't remember what the girl's name was, who is having her own kind of sex troubles, to put it lightly, shall we say, just to ensure I can still put adverts on these videos if I can. She's still having her problems, and then Eric came along with a potential solution trying to help her, but that kind of then bled into Eric's little thing where he's kind of feeling quite lonely and left out, it would seem. Not a lot for him to do. So while it's really, really funny, this show has some like hilarious lines, but behind some of that humour is actually like really quite painful and sad stuff, like with Eric's loneliness there. And I'm really intrigued to learn a lot more about Jean and exactly what's going on with her. I mean, Gillian Anderson's fantastic, and the fact that she clearly has so much respect for her career and what she does, but at times she lets it bleed into her personal life, and there isn't a distinct kind of separation there. I imagine that's really difficult for Otis to deal with as well, because I think he just wants his mum to be his mum, but at times she can be his therapist, and he didn't ask for one, and she's almost treating parenthood like, she's kind of at times treating Otis, I think, a bit like a client, but you can also see that her intentions are really good and genuine, and she does have a lot of love and affection for her son, because they ain't never going to have a movie night, but she let him go to the party and everything, so they still have, I think, a really strong, nice, wholesome bond. But a big thing I think in this episode as well was like communication, like that couple that weren't, they were speaking but they weren't really listening to each other, and Otis kind of sat them down, helped them out. And I think there just needs to be a bit more of that between Otis and Jean. And Jean tried to get Otis to get to that place. At the end of the episode, he was just like, stay out of my life, because, he's a 16-year-old teenager, so that's how we all were, I guess. But that could be a really interesting thing to learn a bit more about how she really ticks, and the fact that I think she's really trying her best, and she really is a good mother, but I think the career can kind of get in the way. I'd be eager to learn a bit more about potentially Otis's dad and why he is not around. You know, they still have a relationship with him, stuff like that, because I imagine that maybe that kind of feeds into Jean's almost overprotectiveness of Otis in that sense, wanting to make sure he's alright in every aspect of his life, even if that means becoming a bit more of a therapist for him, because she just wants what's best for him. And I think so many of us kind of bleed our personal and work lives together at times. You know, a lot of people will come home from work and want to talk about it and complain about it to, you know, your partners or your friends, your family, stuff like that. It seems like Jean can't quite do that because it's just her and Otis, and maybe Otis wouldn't want to hear everything she'd want to complain about normally. So she kind of changes and focuses that release into Otis himself in ways he doesn't ask for. It's a really kind of complicated thing, but I really like that dynamic and I'm eager for them to explore it a lot more. So there's a lot of sadness actually behind Jean's moment when Adam was like, oh, I thought my parents were controlling. Because there is an element to that to her, but, you know, she's not vindictively trying to do that. She's just worried about her son. And, you know, what if Otis had, you know, had an asthma attack or something? So it's a complicated thing, and I'm really intrigued to see them explore that a bit more. And the ongoing thing with the sex ed business, I'm glad, you know, when they gave it up near the end, I was like, oh, well, that story seems to be over a bit quickly. But then, you know, they started getting some more clients in at the end. I like how that kind of all built up. And, yeah, business is booming, it would seem, and that's back on. And Otis overhearing and trying to listen to all the Jean's kind of clients and their discussions to get tips and stuff. And I love how they kind of slowly revealed that, you know, it's about Otis being face to face with them. That's when he really shines. That's what he was missing when he first tried it in the cubicles. And once he kind of got rid of all the bravado, I guess, the facade and the mask, i.e. the orange hat, once he took that off and he was just Otis again, he was really, really good at it. So I like that it shows he's quite natural about it, and he does have some talent for it in an interesting way. And in that sense, he's also letting being a therapist bleed into his personal life, because it's his school life and it's his friends and it's the people he goes to school with that he's kind of making clients of. So he's kind of doing what Jean has to do as well, which is interesting. And Otis resents her for that, but he could be going down a similar path, which I think is quite interesting. And they even kind of foreshadowed the whole thing when they were first getting ready for the party, and Eric was saying, you know, you're just like Otis, you look like Otis. And, you know, they put the hat on him to try and change that and put the music on to let him loosen up and dance a bit. But, you know, that wasn't working until he took all that off and he was just dressed as Otis again. So that was really cool and interesting. And yeah, Eric's story was kind of quite sad, really. He's feeling left out, doesn't really have a place, but he's putting on the brave face about everything, really. And he's trying his best, but he didn't have a lot of luck in this episode, that's for sure. And I think he clearly has this desperate need to impress people, and he goes way over the top with it because he does feel quite left out and a bit lonely. But at the same time, him and Otis have a really nice friendship and stuff, but it's a matter of circumstance, I guess, with this whole thing with Otis and Maeve and what they're trying to do. Maybe there isn't quite that place for Eric right now, and if Otis is going to put more attention into that, Eric may get a bit left behind. And, you know, he doesn't seem to have any friends outside of Otis, which is quite sad. And that may be something that they continue to explore a bit more. I imagine they're going to. But he did have some really funny lines and funny moments in this one. Like that whole bit when they all threw up on each other, my God, that was so good. I mean, horrendous, but so good. And then Maeve, who I continue to love and adore. I will die for her. The fact that she seems to be living alone in like this caravan, and she's really struggling for money and potentially pregnant. Her reaction to it seemed like, oh no, you're just an idiot. I feel like you could still interpret that either way, but I'm not sure. I feel like maybe there's going to be a bit more to that. Otherwise, like, what would be the point of including that storyline if it just doesn't go anywhere per se? So maybe there's more to it. I feel like it could still go either way, whether she's pregnant or not. I think they want you to make her think that she's not, because her immediate reaction was just to sleep with that guy again. But who knows? Either way, I'm excited for a bit more of that. And again, she has some really funny moments, but behind all this brave face she tends to put on for things, and there's that whole like home life thing going on. But she still has this really nice relationship with Amy that seems quite wholesome. And her and Otis definitely have a real nice thing going on. I ship it. And I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of them hopefully growing closer as their business kind of explodes, hopefully. So yeah, everything with that was cool. And I did like the story with that couple that we saw at the very start, and then Otis kind of helped patch them up, help them work through things, and then they sent in that little thank you note at the end. Very, very wholesome. And it was good that, you know, you can do all like using the sex and everything going wrong with it for comedy and stuff. That's all very well and good, but it was kind of cool to have like a success story and actually see something go right for someone. Because I don't think you'd want people to watch this and be put off by like asking for help or, you know, going to a therapist for that kind of thing if all you ever saw examples of it in the show was things going wrong or it becoming like a comedy kind of farce. So the fact that it did seem to work out for those two was really cool, and I really enjoyed seeing that. It just again shows how naturally talented I think Otis can be for this kind of thing, as long as he's himself. Then we had Amy kind of running the party. We didn't get like a lot more delving into her character, but I feel like there's going to be time for that because she keeps popping up a bit. They do you know, that whole story is more so I think about Adam, and the fact that Amy mentioned that, oh, you know, the other girls didn't want to host it at their house, so I had to do it. It does feel like maybe, you know, her voice isn't often heard, or she lets people kind of, you know, walk over her a bit, which is a bit of a mood. I'm not like holding it against her because, you know, it happens to people and a lot of people go through that for sure. So maybe that could be a good story for her, because right now they seem to be using her to propel other people's stories forward, which I feel like is true to what they're trying to do with that character at the minute, but I feel like as time goes on, she'll get more of a voice and she'll be a bit more open about the fact that she has quite a nice friendship with Maeve and stuff like that. But she stuck to her guns with the whole Adam thing, which I enjoyed. Telling him to kind of get lost. He didn't respect it. It did not go wrong. But the idea of him wanting closure, I get as well. I liked Jean's advice for that, but he went about it completely the wrong way. He should have just waited, not gone to the party, maybe, you know, sent her a message in like a week or two and get the closure then. But he just seems to be a bit chaotic, is Adam. And we got a small glimpse again into his home life. We got a lot more obviously in the first episode about what his home life is like, and disapproving head teacher dad can't be easy. But this one, when dad was like, oh, why can't you be like your sister? You know, she's this. And he was kind of mouthing along with him. So obviously he's heard this speech God knows how many times before. I feel like maybe he has a bit of an inferiority complex about that. So again, they're still desperate to try and hold on to any relationships he does have, holding on to any like success stories he may have, like having a relationship. But even if that falls apart, he's still desperate to kind of fix it, just to kind of prove his worth. So I do feel like there's a lot of very lonely people in this show, and how they choose to explore that with all of them, I think, is going to be really interesting. Because, you know, Maeve kind of lives alone. She's kind of lonely there. Eric had a lot of loneliness going on. I think there's a lot of that with Adam and Amy in a sense as well. And the friends they may have aren't necessarily like true friends. Like that guy who's like, oh, Adam, I can't hang around with you anymore. You're a bit weird. You know, my parents said I can't, which is fair. But then I think that's the same guy who was kind of pursuing Amy a bit and then got Amy's grandmother's ashes all over him. So he didn't have a very good party in the end. Not great. And yeah, Amy, you know, seemed to have to host this party and was kind of forced into it by all the other friends in that group, who then all they did was kind of bitch about how the party wasn't great and it was beige or whatever they said. And I was like, well, just leave then. But then they took the opportunity to kind of take the piss out of Eric and record him and all that nonsense. So they're not particularly nice people, but as we saw, 2 out of 3 of them for sure kind of confronted Otis and said, oh, I have problems with this, can you help me out? So they're becoming clients. So, you know, people especially at that age, are going to put on that facade when deep down they're going through a lot of stuff, going through a lot of changes, and at times they can be quite lonely about it. And it's good that a show like this can open up the conversation about it. I mean, some of that stuff, you know, some of the stuff in the show is like very awkward to watch. Like that opening scene, it was quite funny though, when the parents walked in on that couple at the start. But it's getting the word out and say, you know, it's okay to be open and talk about these kind of things. And I really like that kind of running message that the show has. And as long as they stick to that and also do some really interesting stuff with all the characters, I think I can clearly see why this show has been so successful and is so well loved by everyone that I've spoken to about it. But yeah, overall, another great episode, and I look forward to seeing where they take things next as we delve further into the story. Business seems to be booming. Is that going to cause more fractures in pre-established friendships, etc.? Obviously Maeve's home life situation isn't ideal, so there's going to be something there, I'm sure. And yeah, there's a lot to kind of be juggling, but I'm really liking what they're doing with all the characters and stuff so far, and particularly very interested in Maeve's story and Jean, to learn a bit more about her and her home life with Otis. So yeah, really good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next with all this. But until my next reaction, thanks for watching.